The two stars, the two biggest batting stars of both countries, Virat Kohli and Babar Azam, will be in action. Very contrasting personalities, but big batting stars in their own countries. Harsha, how different are they from each other?
That you'll have to ask him. What I will tell you
From the outside.
What I will tell you is Virat Kohli has been on a very long journey.
Yeah.
Longevity is one of the lesser appreciated aspects in cricket. If someone has played at a certain level, Virat Kohli has played at this level almost from 2009-10. Up and down, but he's played at this level for 14 years. Babar Azam has played at this level for 5 or 6 years. Babar Azam is walking in footsteps that are there. Those footsteps are Virat Kohli's. So every step that he takes in Virat Kohli's step is a step up for Babar, who's playing beautifully, but Virat Kohli's steps are still much further. He has to walk all over there till he can be compared to Virat Kohli. So at this stage, yes, he's batting very well, but Virat Kohli has done this over a much longer period.
Sometimes, not on digital, but on cricket television, some people tend to manufacture excitement that isn't there. And they try to make it look like a really bitter rivalry. Oh, Virat the king versus Babar the king.
If you're a cricket lover, you'll say, man, I'm getting to watch Virat and I'm getting to watch Babar. I don't care who's in better form at the moment. I'm getting to watch both. How does it matter to me at the moment who's number one, who's not number one? Because the rankings will come and go. Yeah. Never go by the ICC rankings, because those depend on the most recent performances. Yeah. If you've not played for 3 months, you drop down the rankings there. So, I mean, it's very good television to say who's better, Virat, Babar. Babar is playing very well. Virat is in this form one of the greatest there has ever been. Babar is on course to getting there.
DK, what gets around, right? When a young player starts to do well, I know India hasn't played Pakistan too much, but I'm sure Indians would be aware of what Babar Azam is all about. They would have maybe seen some clip here or there, and they would be aware of what Babar Azam is capable of.
The only thing that connects both Virat Kohli and Babar Azam is the fact that both don't play the sweep shot very well.
Trust him out of everything to find that one thing.
Other than that, they're chalk and cheese. Very different personalities, very different batting methodologies, and very different approaches to the sport. One is more calm, sedate, one is in your face, and I'll show you what I got sort of an approach. What I like about both those players is they bring different flavors, very different countries, very different cultures, and both have been setting about their jobs in the right way and giving an example as to how cricket should be played and doing it their own way. And I think both are, if I had to give an analogy, it's like Virat Kohli is an emperor. I think Babar Azam at the moment is just definitely getting there. There is no doubt about it. He is a king. Like when we spoke about Virat Kohli, we were speaking about Sir Vivian Richards, Ricky Ponting. Now those are fair comparisons. Yep. The sample size is big, and all three have achieved greatness over a period of time. Hashim Amla for a long time was in the running to becoming one of the greatest ODI players until he fell down a little bit at the back end of his career.
He also came from a country that didn't have a strong media. If Hashim Amla was Indian, English or Australian, he would have been 3 times the player that he was.
And you do take Aravind De Silva batting at number 3. And there are many names. Let's not go down that route. But Babar Azam is a very, very good player. What I felt when I watched him bat from just behind the wickets was the sense of timing that he has. He has a very low back lift. And he has a very good setup, but the sense of timing, the sound at which the sound that you get when the ball hits the bat is very, very different to the other players there. He has a very short back lift, and that generally will say that, those kind of players will use their bottom hand a lot. But Babar Azam is somebody who is able to use his top hand in a technical fashion very, very well. And that's what sets him apart, and that's what has made him a strong player across formats. Now with Virat Kohli, he is a very bottom-handed player, but he's worked on his game so much to become a top-handed player, and he is a phenomenal guy when it comes to using what goes on, what is there between the ears.
Tell me, sometimes when your natural game is that bottom-handed game, but you want to be very good through the offside, you mold your game. Do you lose that? Because Virat Kohli's whiplash shot through mid-wicket is one of the great shots in the game. We talk about the cover drive, yes, but that whiplash bottom-hand shot, the one that even if Haris Rauf was that shot in a sense, and very, very few people have the power to carry it off. He should not. Can players lose that in trying to be this beautiful top-handed cover drive player?
You can reduce that a little bit. It does happen because when you're looking to get one part of your game well, a little bit drops off, and it automatically happens because when you're trying to become slightly more offsided, you tend to use your top hand a little firmer, and that in turn will allow you not to play through the leg side, the kind of fluency that you had. But in Virat Kohli's case, I think he's made a good marriage of both. If you do take his early videos in international cricket, it will be very different to what he is today, for sure.
If you see Virat Kohli's Instagram page, he's made a good marriage of everything.
Let's come back. There's also a mutual admiration society between Virat Kohli and Babar Azam. A couple of quotes that have been doing the rounds. Here's what Virat said, and he spoke about how he's seen a lot of regard and respect from Babar. It's good to see, right? This kind of bonhomie, this kind of camaraderie. It just seems like players are insulated from what happens on news channels and elsewhere outside.
It is inevitable. Look, don't forget that Virat Kohli, for all the impression he gives on the field, you think when Joe Root comes into bat, Virat Kohli doesn't know that a great batter is coming into bat. He might say something to it, but you think he doesn't know that a great batter? Virat Kohli is never going to go into a press conference and say, you know what, that way Joe Root, he can't bat. So that respect across is something you earn. If I was Babar Azam today, I would say that is what Virat Kohli thinks about me. Dude, you've done something good in life because you earned respect in the opposition dressing room. That is what you eventually play the game for, respect in your dressing room and respect in the opposition dressing room. So these are very good players, but don't also forget that Babar Azam, in a sense, Virat is like a role model to him. And I think what Babar said about talking to Virat in 2019 and Virat helping him was very interesting.
Yep.
But you'll find this across the world. It's one great aspect of our game. I remember Rahul Dravid saying that about Steve Waugh. And Steve Waugh said, I'll talk to you, but after the series. And as soon as the series was over, he said Steve Waugh had all the time to talk to me about the series. This will happen around the world. You think if Vicky Kaushal goes to Shah Rukh and talks to him about being a star in the industry, Shah Rukh will tell ja? And when you're secure, you're willing to share your knowledge. If you're insecure, you're not willing to share your knowledge.
There's also a quote that's coming from Babar Azam as well. Now, he's shown a lot of humility in saying that, we get to learn stuff from Virat as well. So it's good to see that's what he said. And he's referred to how he's learned a fair bit and learned a lot from him. It means that Virat was open enough and kind enough and magnanimous enough to share his inputs.
I think Virat's been that way for some time now when it comes to giving inputs to players. You see, whenever an IPL game finishes, there'll be a bunch of boys who will go to Virat, and he's always found the time to do it. It's great that he's brought the example of a Steve Waugh and a Rahul Dravid, because I was part of the Ashes that just happened, and I just took Steven Smith's bat one day before work and was tapping with it, and I saw the bottom of it, it was written Virat Kohli. So basically I asked him, using Virat Kohli's bat? And he said, yes, I've been using his bat for a couple of years now. I asked him for a new one. He said he's going to send me one. So that's the kind of relationship that they have. An Australian player using a Virat Kohli's bat. It's a small gesture, but at the end of the day, because of the franchisee cricket happening around the world, you tend to be with each other, play against each other a lot more than you used to. So you generally have a good friendship with most of the people. And I think world cricket also mellowed down a lot to what it used to be. There used to be a lot more different banter of the stronger variety. It's reduced a lot. And Babar Azam, and if you had to compare Babar Azam and Virat Kohli, the one thing I will say is Virat Kohli finds a way in those big moments to be there. Whereas Babar Azam, in his small sample size, still hasn't done as well as he would like against India.